Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another lab podcast. Today I am joined by Seth and Kel, and we're going to talk about a little thing called dating today. So be fun times. Hopefully you stick around. But before that, Kel, Seth, what's up? How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. I just got back from down in Southern Ohio for a meeting, and now I'm here. So that was my day.
Fun.
Nice.
How
I
about
just
you,
got
Seth?
back. Yeah, I just got back from California. I was visiting family on the coast. My mom just had her 60th birthday, so that was fun. We got really stoned and we went to a winery and just I have no memory after a couple hours, so that was pretty wild. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. It was cathartic. But anyway, then I made a mistake flying home. I ate a good portion of an extra strength, little fancy cookie, a little weed cookie, and ended up having to babysit myself going through that airport. Be like, okay, you gotta get some food. I'm like, okay. And then on the plane, I just kept thinking, like, where the fuck am I? Like, I'd be like, oh my, I'm flying. Anyway, so that was. But the thing was, is it made flying so much more fun. But I was a pain in the ass for me. But yeah, that was my week.
Oh man.
What
Well,
about you,
Man,
I'm
Fred?
glad you made it back.
Sure did. Completely? I don't know.
Kind of. Yeah, nothing too exciting here. Moving into my second week of prep, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So 15 weeks out. So things are moving along. Nothing crazy yet. But I did get my calories cut pretty drastically from the start. I didn't get any adjustments this week, kind of held where we were because I lost 2 pounds in a week. And for someone who's not like pretty big, like that's a pretty big drop. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense why I was feeling fatigued and I was hungry. And it's like still my calories are decently high, but it was just such a big cut that my body was like, whoa, like, what are we doing? So I think I've adjusted a little bit, but yeah, it's only gonna get worse from here. So but I think I finally found my groove. I was really stressed and just a lot of things going on. I think I like as of yesterday, um, I think it was the first time I was like, I got this. It's fine. I'm gonna do this, and I'm excited. And I think that was like the first moment that clicked. That was just like, yeah, I've worked really hard for this, and I can't wait to kind of see um, all that hard work. So that's where I'm at. But
hell
yeah,
yeah, Cody. That's good. That's a good
Awesome.
week.
yeah, it wasn't bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
Say it.
so a media roundup.
Bum,
Speaking of
bum.
of good, we have they confirmed apparently that aliens are real and they
Mhm.
exist and they have alien crafts and alien bodies. I don't think I ever fucking thought I would say this. Like this is kind of weird to me because growing up you have all these alien movies, like Independence Day and Men in Black, and it's kind of a joke, but also like great science fiction. But then it no longer is fiction. So what do we do with that? And there's no actual evidence still. We've been told these things, but since there's no solid proof, it's still up for question. Like, is it real? Are they trying to? Well, like I don't know why they would be lying about it, but are they? And yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, first off, my first thought was it is crazy to me how it's just like like the government saying aliens are real is not a bigger deal in this media cycle. Um,
The people are
and
fatigued.
they're like whatever.
Didn't we
Aliens.
have that same story like recently with the balloon? People are like, okay, yeah, I freaking knew.
Yeah,
Aliens are real. Thanks, man. Are the guys in the set
yeah.
okay?
It is a little weird how, yeah, not more people are. I feel like it's like there's all these news stories, and then there's aliens are real, and it's like down here, and no one is really talking about it. Like no one's really scared or like saying, um, Saying much. I don't understand it. I know back in
Probably,
2020 there was the release of those TikTok videos and confirmation from the government, but COVID was going on, so everyone was like talking about it, but then it went away real quick because we were so
mhm.
focused on COVID stuff. So here it is
Yeah.
again.
I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I think it's because people are worried about the recession. And honestly, I feel like the people who really are worried about like aliens, like we're like, hell yeah, aliens. We already believe that they're out there. So it's like, I wasn't shocked when I saw it because I feel like again, how could there not be? But at the same time, like I don't know. They qualify like a UFO as being any sort of flying object that may or may not be piloted. That's just unidentified. But I mean, they're sure as shit are aliens.
That's what Fermi's paradox, right? Ugh, Fermi's paradox is. Do you guys know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. So it's like the idea that it is completely unreasonable that there isn't life outside of the universe, but we have no proof of it. So it's like it's paradox, can't be answered or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to see what the. Yeah, the discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life and the apparently high likelihood of its existence. Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah. So, but it was just in a Fallout Boy song. I don't know, which I think was also funny because it was like released like 2 weeks ago. Um, but I think also one part of why aliens aren't a bigger deal is because people I think at a low level have been like talking about this forever. And it's like so you've always heard it's a possibility or an idea. It wasn't something that was like brand new. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think.
Soften the blow.
Yeah, like typically right now, like American trust in government isn't particularly high. So I feel like the
Yeah.
government could really do what and be like, "Well, fuck you. I hope they're not then." You're not gonna get it. I believe whistleblowers, but ultimately, you either do or you don't. Just like there are people with a vested interest in you never knowing stuff. Vice. I mean, I guess I could see incentive to lie, like book deals, notoriety, but that's kind of old hat, right? Most people who remember the names of quote whistleblowers around UFOs are just nerds like us. So yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of incentive to draw what for 15 seconds.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I guess one of the biggest things that like why this was so big is because it was literally, um, it was told Congress, so they were like saying these things under oath, and so that's why people were like, "Holy shit! Like this has never happened. Like this is real." Should I read part of this article that kind of gives us summary just for people who maybe haven't heard any of what's going on?
By all
Yeah,
means.
definitely.
Okay, so this is an article. It's on NBC News, and it says three former military officials told Congress Wednesday that they believe the government knows much more about UFOs than it is telling the public. A House Oversight Subcommittee held a hearing on UFOs, officially known as Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAPs, and heard mystifying testimony about unexplained object sightings and government possession of non human biological matter. Lawmakers on the committee, baffled by some of the testimony, repeatedly noted that UAP sightings are an issue of bipartisan concern and raise national security questions. Separately, some accused the federal government of endeavoring to conceal key UFO related information from the public, though they did not provide evidence to support those allegations. Uh, the sheer number of reports, whistleblowers, and stories of unidentified anomalous phenomena should raise real questions and warrant investigation oversight, and that's why we are here today. And then it goes on to talk about, basically it came down to, so David, sorry, I'm Gersh. That's how it's spelled so
Yeah,
weird.
David
Gersh.
G.
Gersh,
David
yeah.
G., a former U.S. intelligence official, told the panel that he is absolutely certain that the federal government is in possession of UAP, citing interviews he said he conducted with 40 witnesses over a 4-year period. And it also says so basically, they have collected and reconstructed crashed UAPs, and they have had um, remains, non-human biologics, as they called it, were found at the crash site, and so he just he uses the term non-human rather than alien or
It's his little mealy
extraterrestrial.
mouth.
Watch, it's like a monkey.
I was gonna say it could be a monkey or a dog. It's obviously has precedent, but
It's
that
a
would be like,
gorilla.
man.
So
It's Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Well, we all said that.
So yeah, I mean, so it's not as much. I wonder if it'll lose its appeal because it's not as much of like a mystery. Probably not. I'm
No
still
way.
interested.
No way in hell.
It'd be edgy to not believe in them, just like the moon landing.
Oh, we can get into that conspiracy. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I like me some alien documentaries. So I find this very interesting. I've always wanted to, know what's inside Area 51, and they have all these documentaries and of whistleblowers or people who used to work for the government, and they reconstructed UFOs, shit, whatever. So yeah, and I've, depending on who you listen to, so Dr. Stephen Greer, the guy I was kind of telling you guys about previously, he believes that they're peaceful. They are not here to attack, and he's basically saying the government thinking that they're a national security threat is very off base, and that they're not dangerous. More like they're concerned for what we're doing to our planet.
That would be really interesting.
Al Gore's their leader.
People be like, "That's some screen from the government trying to get me to put it in the blue bin, and I won't be doing it." So, truthfully, I mean, I look at that and yeah, it's aliens, man. Aliens. No, just to throw in one more thing about aliens, unless you guys want to keep, because I'd be content to talk about aliens for an hour, for being real. But the thing with so I know I've talked to Cody about this before, but dark forest theory. Kel, have you heard of dark forest theory? So
No.
it's the idea, or the dark forest hypothesis, I believe is another term. It basically is the hypothesis that in the case of we're existing on Earth, it behooves us to be cautious of other potential threats, i.e., other intelligent life, because if you know that someone else exists and they know that you exist, then and you have no way of contacting each other from vast intergalactic distance, but you're aware of each other, you could potentially give away your position in a way that would cause them to kill you because you don't know if they're a bad actor or not. So the idea being is you can't trust that anyone else is a bad actor, so that you yourself have to be a bad actor. So in that way, I think if he's right that the guys around here, around these parts in the real world are peaceful, then they must be so freaking advanced that they're just not scared of us. Like, that we're just but we're still worth studying.
Well, I mean, that's why I feel like if you watch any of this, Stephen Greer's documentaries, he always likes to emphasize that they're peaceful, but they're so far, they've evolved so much far, they're way ahead of
different
us.
Dimensions, yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, they're not violent in the ways that we are, and if you listen to any abduction stories, even the people who claim to have been abducted say they're not there to cause harm. And there's one famous story. I actually watched this UFO thing on Netflix last night. I think I've already seen it, but I was like, I'm gonna watch it again. And it's one of the most
similar to, I feel like I do that too.
I'm like, oh, let's watch again.
Don't remember.
So one of the most documented instances of an alien encounter, where it's there's these three guys out in the forest, and I forget why they were even out there. I think they were forestry people, chopping down trees and shit. I don't know. And there was this craft that came, and there was a bright light, and one of them went towards the light, and they were kind of telling him like, dude, like get back here. And he said he felt like this kind of high frequency kind of vibration, and then before he knew it, he was being lifted up. And so they, lifted him up into the craft. And he said he was very kind of like confused at first. He was like, I was yelling all sorts of things. Like he wasn't happy about it, but he didn't realize until like after, basically he went missing for 5 days, and the people that were with him immediately went and reported it, and reported him missing. And since he was gone, they were almost going to be charged for his murder because they couldn't find him. So he reappears 5 days later, and he says, I was abducted by aliens. And what he thinks now is that he got too close to the whatever it is that helps the craft fly, essentially, and it causes damage to your body. So he thinks that they like realized what was happening and they needed to like give him medical treatment. So that's why they pulled him up into the craft and they did whatever they needed to do to make sure he was okay. And then they brought him back after they gave him some sort of treatment. But he had some x-rays and stuff later where he had this little tiny chip that was in his leg with
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I've heard this one before.
Yeah. So they did some x-rays and there's a little chip in his leg. It was tiny, tiny, tiny. And they had these wires that like went up towards his brain, like his head. And then on his other leg, there was like a little like flower, like kind of, it looked like a little flower print. It was something that was also in his leg. And he was just like, how do they put that in my leg without there being a scar? And the doctor was just like,
aliens.
I don't even know, And that was the most documented case.
Catch and release. Like a freaking...
But like,
that was taking a fish, but yeah.
He didn't think they were there to cause him harm. It was his own fault, essentially, that he'd gotten too close and they just had to pull him up to fix him. So it's very, very interesting. And, there's a lot of abduction stories and they all kind of have their consistencies, So I don't know. Yeah, some people are definitely probably a little nutty. But
I will say, I think it would be cool if there was a psychedelic mushroom or something that was called alien abduction, and that could be like the perfect cover for it. Be like, yeah, guys, I totally wasn't out in the woods 5 days high out of my mind. It definitely was. But honestly, like, that would be a cool experience, but also terrifying.
Right, I would be terrified still. Like,
For
even if they're peaceful.
and to say that to like have to like go and explain that to the cops, like
I
that
wouldn't. I would lie. I would say I had eaten a funny mushroom. I'm not going to their padded box. Nope. You're going to get 5150 for real. You start saying something. Got you.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's the Netflix series, like UFO Unclassified. Seth, you should watch that because that story is in it. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
And the guy, I mean, he seems sane.
You sound confident as you shake your head no.
But you know how like there's these people that they just have no reason to like they seem like
mental
they're probably
illness.
kind of backwoods people who like don't believe in that shit, and so you're kind of like, you might be telling the truth.
For clarity, I do think that shit like that happens. Do I believe everyone? No. But I agree. Yeah, so I'm skeptical from the get, but yeah, no, there's something. There's somebody, something, they're watching us.
Yeah, I think
see, for some reason...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying it's the fact that it's so highly documented because they reported him missing and they almost got charged for his murder. Like, because there's actual documentation, I think that makes it so interesting.
Yeah. Aliens don't really scare me because, like, I know this kind of sounds wrong, but, like, if they're going to come and do something, we're not going to stop them.
No.
So it's just like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very low, like...
I
Yeah,
was
beat me up.
so sure you'll give my very favorite science fiction series of all time, Three Body Problem. Highly recommend Cixin Liu. It's the greatest Chinese science fiction novel series ever written. The origin of it being like, we're going to talk to some aliens in Alpha Centauri, and this young woman hates humans so much that she contacts them and is like, come get us, man, come wipe us out. And then what follows is hundreds of years of waiting for them to get there to exterminate everybody. So highly recommend. But can you imagine being like, yeah, I'm not scared of no aliens because I'm trying to get taken out. But yeah, it's going to be a Netflix show apparently, so keep your eye out. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Aliens.
Talking about things on a different planet, should we talk about dating?
Women are from Mars. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus.
I don't remember which direction.
Yeah.
Mars
Yeah.
men. Yeah.
Mars men.
Stupid. Yeah.
Venus
Martian.
vagina. I don't know. Well, there's a reason that there's like the Venus shaver from the So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Venus for women and Mars for men.
Correct.
I guess we're from like Saturn or something. I don't know.
Uranus.
Yeah. Trans people are from Uranus. So yeah, dating, guys. What is your experience with dating? As a trans person, as a non-trans person, we've done it all, right? So what flavor is your favorite?
Go ahead, Cal.
So I hate dating. I hated dating. Don't date anymore because I'm partnered. But yeah, I have done all the dating on all the websites before that.
All of them.
You whore.
I feel like it.
Boo, you.
Yeah. Well, it was because I wasn't in the church, so I had a lot of time.
The church.
You mean you didn't save yourself for marriage?
I didn't save myself for marriage, so
A harlot.
since I'm still not married. I don't know. And then Seth, you said that Charisse is your only dating person.
Yeah, the first girl who'd go out with me, I was like, that's the one. Yeah. I mean, I had my things or whatever, like situationships like everybody else, but no, I settled down young.
Nice. And how long have you
I
guys
didn't
been
experience
married?
the apps. A year, and we've been together for 10.
Nice.
She's
That's
stuck
a
with
long
me.
time.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were children, so yeehaw. Not related.
That's good.
I am not related to her. You'd be like, hey, good, no one asked.
Not that you could procreate, so it's not like you'd have little mutated babies.
Good point.
Like some European dynasty.
Yeah.
So go ahead if you do your thing.
Thanks, man.
No problem. I initially, I mean, I've done the dating thing. I've dated as a straight woman, and I've dated as a gay woman. I've dated as a trans man, straight trans man. So I've done some things.
Same.
And yeah, they were all pretty awful, so I can't say I have a favorite flavor. I've done I haven't done like all the apps, but I've been on
Okay,
Tinder
Cupid.
and yeah, OkCupid was a big one back in the day.
Ah,
just
same.
Because you could customize it. You felt the most safe there because it had
And plenty
all
of
the
fish.
things.
Yeah. Very briefly was on those, and I just got a lot of people. I was like, well, I lived in an isolated area, so I was like, no.
Yeah, so there's not plenty of fish when you're in an isolated area. You have maybe
quite literally a desert.
Few fish and a couple tadpoles, but that's about
I
it.
got my first date off MySpace.
Oh, that's very gay.
So, well, I was with a guy when I was straight.
That's why it was so gay, because you're a man.
Yeah, it was.
It's super gay. I was right.
Yeah, very gay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think though the worst, like my worst experience dating was in the time when I was out as a trans man, but wasn't very passing, because I feel like I got a lot of lesbians who were like, "Well, if you just don't grow facial hair, it'll be fine."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
I got a lot of that back in the
Ew.
day.
Yeah. Or if you are like with someone and you decide to transition, and then like every little thing, every like little hair, every little change that you wish you could celebrate, and then you're like looking at them like, oh God, I hope they don't notice.
I'm gonna be that guy. It's
That's not
like,
a good situation.
yeah, I feel incredibly fortunate in that my wife was very supportive from the beginning and continues to be, and I got lucky with that, because that is something that breaks people up, as a lot of trans people know. So yeah, so if you're out there and you've got a supportive partner, thank them again, because yeah,
I would say it's very rare for like, say you start out as a lesbian couple. If one person transitions, it's so rare that it actually works out. I think I only know of one couple, and that's it. Usually, unfortunately, it comes to an end, because it's like, yeah, they were a lesbian for a reason. They are attracted to women, and you're no longer a woman, so can't really fault them for that, you know?
Yeah, that sucked. I'm so happy not to be dating anymore.
it's a positive topic. Be like, guys, about dating, fuck it, don't do it.
No, but like
Arranged marriage.
I don't know. So I was like very, not necessarily prudish, but like I just didn't want to spend my time with anybody who I didn't see going anywhere. So I made decisions very fast. So like I would have one date and be like, "Is the vibe there? If not, then I'm not, I'm like out right away." And just because I think that is a good way to do it, and I wouldn't really change it.
Yeah, if you're not like immediately attracted, there's not a great likelihood that you will be later, unless that's how your attraction works. But
Right, but I think a lot more has to work out than just attraction, you know?
oh yeah, just but the vibe, as far as like a
Yeah.
first, like attracted to their deal, like what they're talking about, their interests, not just their appearance. But yeah,
For sure. Yeah. Especially because, like, I feel like life just gets busy and busier, and it's just so hard.
Yeah. And like the older you get, the more stuck in your ways you are. And so the less you're willing to like give up parts of your life to even make time for somebody. Um, or like, I don't know. So, before I was with Dez, like as a bodybuilder, you don't have a lot of give, you don't have a lot of time. And I'm just kind of like, I approach dating or meeting someone as just someone who is going to take time away from my goals. So
Same.
I just never really like. I would just swipe Tinder on like Friday night when I got lonely or something like that. But I would never actually engage in conversations with people. I would just go on there to swipe, and that was about it. I just didn't really have an interest. I think there's always this hope that maybe you'll just meet someone organically, which is what happened. But having to, like put in that effort to get to know someone, I think there's just so many times where it didn't work out or ended awfully that I was like, fuck that, man. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm too old for this shit. I just want to focus on my goals. And bodybuilding, it takes up my whole life, and I don't want anyone to get in the way of that, because in the past, if I've fallen for somebody, well, one, my heart usually gets broken, but two, I let everything else kind of go to the side, and goals take a back burner so that I can kind of support this relationship and hope that it goes somewhere. And I just was like, I'm over it. It doesn't work. Nothing has worked out. I've only gotten burned, so I'm, fuck this. I'm not gonna be dating.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, 'cause, yeah, then you see it as like a wasted effort if you're just gonna the thing you want to do. Totally.
All right. Yeah. I remember doing because I would be really selective about who like when matches went on dates because I was such a terrible dater too because I'm like, where's the fault? Where's the fault? Are you worth my treat meal? Let's see.
Exactly. It's like, are you worth me like rushing through a workout to get to a date on time? Are you worth me like kind of being hungry while I take my shower and get dressed and go outside at hours of the night I normally don't? Probably not.
Hey, but sometimes they are because I remember the day after my first or the day after I started prep for my show, I went on my first date with Maddie, and I had to try to date creatively, and this woman had to put up with me through my prep, which was how I know we can last.
Yeah, that's the greatest filter right there. Like if she can handle that, then you are meant to be because yeah, prep is a lot, and that's funny too because like, I mean, Des came back into my life when I was prepping for my first show, and we've been friends for forever, but she's never been around for like bodybuilding stuff. So, she got through that with me, and um, it wasn't a mystery when we officially finally started dating of what she was getting into. So I felt a little bit better like that. I feel like it's always a worry for me. Like the more people get to know me or know how rigid in my routine, they're gonna be like, "Fuck you!" Like you can't even like go outside of your routine for anything. Which is like I can for the right person on the right occasion, but not a lot. So it's like the people either have to be on the same page, have the same interests, or just be completely understanding of what you're doing, or it won't really work when you're dating someone like as a bodybuilder.
Dude, I was just thinking because you're like, yeah, she knew what she was getting into. My wife did not know what she was getting into. Not at any fucking point. We joke about that all the time. When I proposed to her, I was a full ass woman. Like that was that long ago. Like anyway, it's just shit. She tolerates a lot, man.
I would say like dating as a trans person is it can you make things hard, but I feel like dating as a bodybuilder is harder.
So a trans bodybuilder,
Then you're
extra
so you gotta
difficulty.
yeah, so that's why I'm
Called the
like
bonus
thankful
points.
with I'm thankful for where I'm at and like that does you know supports me 100% and we just get each other we just fit
Yeah.
and so um thankfully it ended up how it is. um that's about all because dating sucks and
Dating sucks.
I've had a lot of not good experiences, so it's great to have a good one after all this time.
Can you imagine if this was about like how different this conversation would have been if we were all single? Like, I mean, we're like, yeah.
I don't think we would have this conversation if we were
I mean,
single.
definitely not from this perspective. Be like, man. I mean, it would still be brutal, but
Yeah, but like I don't know because when I was dating, like every once in a while, it was fun. Like you know what I mean, like getting to know new people and stuff. I know that's Cody's worst nightmare, but
It is. It really is.
but, but I don't know because I think if you approach it the right way, you can make it fun. But it's all about like reframing and getting that practice of kind of reframing how things work. I don't know.
yeah, I just want to meet more dogs. You know,
Well,
like
you
whenever I see
won't
it, like
date
I
the dog, but
a 12-week-old Bernese Mountain Dog puppy. I was like, oh my god, can I pet that dog? Like at the airport, I'm like, I see a dog at the airport, I'm like, I need to pet you. And yes, I know that's bad, and I don't actually do it. I just think it, because sometimes they're a service dog. But man,
so a big thing that's kind of you know it can be debatable within the trans community is whether do you disclose that you're trans from the start or do you get to know the person first and then tell them. It can like there's reasons for both. But I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
So what I've always done is I always made it either very evident in my bio, or I would bring it up within the first conversation, just because I don't like wasting my time. If someone's not going to be chill, I don't
Yeah,
really want to deal with it. I'm not here to change minds when I'm dating personally.
Yeah.
Um, but that's kind of how I always played it.
Yeah, it seems like it would be like my advice would be to be fairly open about it because it's in your best interest, like not just from a safety perspective, but from, yeah, wasting your time.
yeah. So you're filtering it out if you disclose from the beginning. Uh, but I feel like it's obviously, I mean, it's a lot safer if you do so, especially before you meet, because it's not usually a great situation, especially for trans women, if they don't disclose at first. That's when things can get real dangerous and potentially violent. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. There's the only negative to disclosing up front is that people are going to pass you by, but you don't want those people anyways, because they're not cool with it. So if they're not cool with it, they're not going to date you.
Yeah.
So
And it's
it
not
really
worth
doesn't
getting
make
your heart broken, like getting attached and getting.
no, no. So of course it sucks, and you have a smaller pool to fish in, but it's fine. Like
Yeah.
It
you don't
it
want to end up.
it already was, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So don't waste your time, emotional energy. Just tell them from the start, and if they're cool with it from the start, then perfect. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. So dating sucks, but keep going through it. But now let's hit to the power talk. So today, the quote I have is from Margaret Thatcher, who I know is a very controversial figure, but I like this quote. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. And I just really liked it because I feel like in life, a lot of times people get really discouraged if things don't go the right way the first time, especially if they've done it 2 3 times. But a lot of times it's just the foundational habits take a little bit to change, and they take a little bit of trying, and it almost has to be something that you have to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail to get the callus built up almost to push through and break the habits. So I think just acknowledging the fact that you fail and you lose battles sometimes, but sometimes you win and they're worth repeating. So that's what I have.
Yes, I dig it. Keep going. Essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. In fancy terms. Thanks, Cody. All right. Well, until next time, folks. Peace.
Peace out.